to session 2 of Explore Tobacco Cessation. In our session last time, we talked a little bit about building confidence. We talked a little bit about personalizing your quit plan. And I passed along a few resources that would be beneficial to kind of gauge where you are in the process of quitting. Today, we are going to talk about the influence of habits and how they can impact your quit journey. We're going to talk about writing a quit letter to yourself. We're going to talk a little bit about a worksheet that can identify your triggers, and then once again, we'll have some additional resources to benefit you through this session today. So today, we'll talk a little bit about habits and how impactful they can be on your quit journey. The first thing is really to kind of think about your day-to-day, your week-to-week, different situations that are habits in your life that you could impact or change, or different behaviors that you want to change. Some people, for instance, for example, this may relate to you, is smoking when you wake up in the morning. It's the first thing you do. Maybe you wake up and go get the coffee started and you have a cigarette, or you go outside and have a cigarette. And, those are the type of situations or habits that I want to address in this call today. What I would suggest, and, as we talked about last session, is those, the way you're addicted to cigarettes and those three different components. And this is really zeroing in on those habits and kind of thinking of things in a different way, or kind of changing your approach to things so those habits can be changed. Experiment with different ways that you could maybe change your routine a little bit, starting your day off a little differently. Instead of maybe getting coffee and having cigarettes, think about maybe another option to start your day, maybe going for a quick walk, maybe jumping in the shower right away, maybe, doing some exercise. Maybe, whatever it is, just find those things that speak to you and are things you want to do and enjoy doing and are beneficial to you versus having that cigarette. Find your cues. So a cue is, waking up in the morning, having coffee, having a drink, being at a specific bar, being in the car. Those are all cues. So kind of identifying what those cues are. And maybe, somebody's smoking right next to you. What can you do when those cues present themselves? You have the situation, you have the way you respond, and then you have the outcome. So maybe the way you respond is what you can kind of create a new plan for, and something that can be a healthy response to that cue. And, then you can kind of practice those things and see what works best for you. May not be perfect right away, but kind of practicing, building up habits takes time. Good habits or bad habits, it all takes time. So kind of exploring what works best for you. The next thing that I want to talk about in our call today is writing a quit letter to yourself. The intent of this is, as I mentioned last time, is to have your emotions, your thoughts written down on paper is really a powerful tool to use, especially when you're trying to make a change in your life. We have a lot of thoughts that are whirling around in our head at all times, and especially if, it's something that's weighing on you or something that maybe is seen as something you don't have control on. Putting that down on paper and having that emotion put onto the paper along with the reason you want to be quitting, the reasons you want to be quitting, what it looks like to be smoke-free once you have quit, can really be powerful, especially in those times when maybe your motivation is low, maybe your energy is low, maybe you've had a bad day, had a bad week, and you just need to kind of re-inspire you to get back on track. So I'm going to send along a resource that gives more information on how to write your quit letter. And once again, we talked about some common cues, but some other cues that, being around other smokers, maybe some friends that are smokers, riding in the car, waking up in the morning, we talked all about. Changes in mood. This is a big one. Going from elated to crabby, having a bad day, finding out some bad news, whatever it is, changing in your mood can oftentimes be a cue. Stress is a huge cue. Alcohol, coffee, those different addictive components can be kind of that gateway to having cigarettes. Boredom, and then social situations. Okay, so I'm going to send along preparing yourself for triggers or the cues, and we'll review the information on the withdrawal tips, and hopefully that will help with the phase that you're going through right now. Quick session today. Next session, we're going to talk about preparing to quit. Once again, we're going to talk about those different methods, over-the-counter medications, some prescription medications, other quit methods that go beyond medications, and hopefully you can find maybe one or two that kind of interest you or you have used in the past that you found success with. Maybe somebody else has found success with, so we'll talk more about that next time. Otherwise, we'll talk to you in session 3. Thank you. Have a great day.